the work session on Senate Bill 445 FN. This was presented this morning to full finance along with an amendment. And so what's under consideration right now is 445 or 445 as amended. And apparently there's some interest in having a discussion about the amendment, or the verbiage, I guess, will be in the basic bill and the amendment as far as starting construction. So why don't you, Representative Mooney, you have a concern.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In the Hennessy Amendment, so that's number 2022-1351S, lines 11 through 13. The purpose of this amendment offered by the senator is to add the word successfully before challenges. I understand that. But there was discussion at the hearing this morning about that sentence, and it is a little clumsy. My thought is, if we take out the words beginning at the end of line 11, because, starting in line 12, construction has commenced. If those 4 words were deleted, to me it seems like the sentence would be clearer, but I'm guessing there are reasons for why those words were in the original bill and the Hennessy Amendment, and it's my understanding a member of the audience can speak to that verbiage.
Please.
If I can just observe, it changes the meaning if you take those words out.
Yeah. You got to turn the mic on.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. For the record, my name is Maura Weston. I represent the New England Cable and Telecommunications Association.
For the clerk, could you spell your name? 'Cause
Sure.
I have a tendency to misspell names because
No
I used to
problem.
be a teacher. Okay.
Maura, Maura, Weston, Weston.
Thank you. I would have misspelled Maura. Thank you very
No
much.
problem. I represent the New England Cable and Telecommunications Association. During the hearing this morning, you heard from Chris Hodgson from Comcast, who is a member of our association. He couldn't be here this afternoon, so I'll try to pick up where he left off with some explanation about that sentence, which was very deliberately added into the Senate version of the bill. The reason for that is, and I think as a layperson, I can best explain it with an example. If Comcast has agreed to go into a community and invest its own capital, for example, to deploy to, say, an additional certain number of homes, a competitor may not know or be aware that Comcast has actually begun construction. For example, the make-ready process. You may not see the wires being strung, but the process is underway. So under this particular initiative, if I, as a competitive provider, put in an application for a grant to go build in that area where Comcast is already under construction, I shouldn't be eligible for access to those taxpayer dollars to fund essentially an overbuild where private capital is already being spent. I have no way of knowing that, but Comcast, of course, knows where they are. So they can say, as part of a challenge process, there's a reason why this applicant shouldn't be funded. And they can demonstrate that they're there, that they're providing service, or that they will be providing service. And that will be a successful challenge of an applicant's eligibility for funding because construction has commenced. So Comcast in this example has commenced construction. I'm seeking dollars to build the same area, not knowing that they're under construction. It's up to Comcast to say, as part of a challenge process, they're not eligible for this funding to overbuild. Does that help?
Yes, that's the best explanation I've heard so
Well,
far.
thank
so
you.
for that.
I'm giving it my best. And I will add it's a little bit tricky because the amendment, as you see it, is out of context of the statute. And that makes it a little bit tricky. But I'll add to that that in the amended version that came from the Senate, we added that construction has commenced when a provider initiates the make-ready process or begins construction of broadband infrastructure in the project area. The reason for that addition was specifically certain senators were interested in a definitive explanation as to what construction has commenced would mean. They thought that that phrase was a little bit vague. So with the addition of that language, they were comfortable that not only would the providers know when construction has commenced, but it would be an appropriate definition, guardrail, et cetera.
Ms. Weston, what are you
Sure.
reading from?
I'm reading from Senate Bill 445 as amended by the Senate, and I was referencing lines 14, 15.
Okay.
So, and the whole premise of this, to take a step back and look at it from the sort of the big picture, is that I think the stakeholders generally are working to ensure the highest and best use of taxpayer dollars so that those taxpayer dollars can be invested in areas where there is not service, where it's unserved. And so this particular provision allows a provider who's already in one area to say, we're here. Those taxpayer dollars shouldn't be directed to this particular geographic location.
So with that explanation, seeing that you got all of that out of this, I don't think this is worth an amendment. I myself would not have written that sentence that way. But again, with your explanation, drawing that out of that, I'm fine to not tinker with that myself.
Representative Leishman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for your explanation. It helped
Sure.
me as well. So
Thanks.
I don't know if you were there this morning when I asked the question over in Peterborough, which is an area that has been
Right.
underserved.
Mhm.
Consolidated came in using federal dollars to oversaturate where Comcast already was. Can you give me an explanation why they would be hitting an area for the second time when we already get these areas of the state that the 30,000, I think, was mentioned
Sure.
by the
That's
gentleman?
that's a great question. And I think what you highlight is an incredibly important concept here. We're talking about a very competitive industry. The telecom industry is just robustly competitive. You have consolidated CCI going out and investing where Comcast is already serving. And in fact, within our cable association, we have BreezeLine, formerly Atlantic Broadband, now deploying in, for example, Concord, where Comcast has been our incumbent. So even within the cable industry, we now have vibrant competition. So why would that happen? Because every one of my clients and CCI would say the same thing. Everybody's going to fight for every customer where there is a business case to be made to fight for those customers. What this program is getting at is the instances where they can't make that business case to go in and invest in those unserved areas. So, I can't speak to CCI's business plans or their decision making, but it's a great example of the robust competition that we see and why we want to keep these federal dollars, focused on the unserved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does that mean that, let's pick on the Concord example.
Sure.
Comcast has got lines strung, or are they responsible for, who's strung them, I don't know.
Right.
They're operating them now. So
Yes.
another company could come in and add additional lines?
Absolutely. So there's a process now. I'm not going to pretend to be the technical expert
Right,
by
right.
any stretch, but what I can tell you is Atlantic Broadband, now BreezeLine, went to the city of Concord. They obtained a franchise agreement to provide video service and also internet broadband service in Concord. Comcast offers similar services. Consolidated in Concord offers similar services. So we're very fortunate in Concord. Now we have a choice of multiple providers offering us internet access, video, etc. So absolutely, there's a process to go through to obtain a competitive franchise. There's a process to go through, which is the make-ready process, to access the poles and to string the fiber.
And who wins? The people who own the poles.
I hope the consumers win,
Well, I
right?
mean,
We all
that's
want
true
more
too.
choice.
That's true too. Okay, any other questions?
Oh, I don't know the answer to that. I can find out. Yeah, there are a lot of folks out there right now deploying, so I'll find out for you.
I'm
Sure.
sorry, I didn't hear the question. Oh,
In Bow.
any other questions? Does anyone else like to speak to this bill? This is a work session, so we're happy to work.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Maura.
Ready for a vote?
Well, I just want to clear up something because I'm a little unsure, and I looked to the LBA on this one because right before the meeting, we're talking about this amendment that has the word successfully in it. Am I looking at 445A? I mean, is this already amended, or do we need to have our own amendment that says the same thing as this amendment?
Sure, Mr. Chair. So the amendment that you're looking at that Senator Hennessy brought forth, the 1351S, that was never officially adopted. So if you are interested in adding that word successfully, we will have to get another amendment drafted in your name if you'd like. And that's the one that you will vote on. You can vote on it today, even though you don't have it in front of you, and I'll work with OLS to get that done hopefully by the end of today. But if you do want to add that word successfully, you do need an amendment.
Well, let me just. Representative Hatch, you look puzzled. Welcome to the club.
No, I'm just kind of zoning in this,
Successfully.
this one word, that's the only thing.
On line 16 of the basic bill, you insert the word, a provider who successfully challenges.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. And the subtlety there for me is that anybody could challenge that could gum up the works, but they have successfully.
I wasn't confused about anything here. Yeah, look at my picture, probably, voting on an amendment without C. Even though it's 1 year, through the years, I had experiences where the one word was not put in properly. Saying that, but I think it'll be fine with this.
Well, what we're actually voting on is this Hennessy amendment with a new name on top.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Do you know why the Senate didn't act on the amendment?
I'm not sure. I think it was found after that they needed to add that word successfully after it had been voted on the Senate floor. So then they corrected this, but it didn't get caught prior to the crossover.
I still move the amendment.
Okay. Amendment moved by Representative Hatch. We have a second.
Second.
Second, Representative Mooney.
Clarification, we're voting on the Hennessy amendment.
But it's going to be renamed.
It'll be renumbered. Now, I have problems with the procedure. I mean, we're assuming that nothing's gonna go wrong and we're gonna get another number, so.
Well, that's what I was just saying, Robert, and I
Yeah.
don't disagree with you, but it's only one word, and I like gambling, so.
You like gambling with his
Well,
money.
I'm still not comfortable because I know it's assuming things are gonna be going correctly bothers me.
Okay, you got to turn it on. You got to turn your mic on. Oh.
Yep, no, I know it. So,
Right.
there you go. Okay, Sorry, if I may, Mr. Chairman, who made the motion and the second?
Representative Hatch made the motion and Representative Mooney seconded. Okay,
That's making a motion on the amendment with
right. We're voting on the amendment right now. Okay.
Okay, we're all set? Okay, if you're in favor of the amendment, you'll vote in the affirmative. If
Gotta
not,
turn-
if you're in favor of the amendment, you'll vote in the affirmative. If not, you'll vote on, in the negative. All right, with that, I'll call the roll. Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Vice Chairman?
Yes.
Clerk votes yes. Representative Mooney,
Yes.
Representative Leishman,
Yes.
Representative Hatch, Mary Beth, Representative Walls.
Yes.
Okay, 7-0, the motion passed. Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept Senate Bill 445 as amended.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Mooney.
We're all set, you know the drill. All right, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Okay, Vice Chairman?
Yes.
The clerk votes yes. Representative Mooney?
Yes.
Representative Leishman?
Yes.
Representative Hatch? Representative Walls?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is 7-0. It ought to pass as amended.
okay, so we will report this to the full finance as, ought to pass as amended. I have no idea. Okay, any other business for this, for Division One? All right, well, enjoy the rest of your week and the weekend. Session is adjourned.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, we just got a notice. Looks
Uh-oh.
like April 26th, full finance will meet in an
Oh,
exec
We're
session,
meeting on April 26th.
10 a.m.
You know, if we have anything we should add.
No.
You can put me down for that.
Yep. Yep. So you'll check with the writing crowd and get a number to Representative DeBerge? Okay.
Yeah, okay, good. Then I'll correct it in the minutes. All right, thank you very much.